Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm so excited. My good friend Irma Kaye Sawyer is with us, a brand new guest to our show, first time on our show, so I'm so excited. And we're going to be talking about all things Andara. So I have a few that I actually received from Irma. So we're going to talk about Andaras. And for those of you who don't know Irma, I'll just tell you a little bit about her. She's an author, a spiritual teacher, an intuitive counselor, an Akashic Records consultant, and energy healing practitioner from Southern California. She has been in professional healing and consulting practice since 1992 and holds certifications in Reiki, magnified healing, shamanic healing, intuitive counseling, and Akashic Record consulting. And, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the services that Irma provides. But she's been practicing for a long time, and she works with customers and clients all over the US and abroad. She's an author of 5 books. Her second work, the Aquarian Empath, was in the top 20 at Amazon in the metaphysics and channeling categories upon its release in 2013. And Irma has been working with crystals since she was a child and has been a crystal retailer and educator for over 20 years. And I received my Andaras, and I've shared these on another call or somewhere before, from Irma recently, because I had contacted her and I said, you know what, the Andaras are calling me. Do you have any? Silly question. And I just wanted to mention really quickly that I found out about Irma, or she was brought to my attention from my good friend Raven Many Voices. As most of you know her, she's been on our show a couple of times, many times, and always a wonderful, wonderful guest and a good friend. So she introduced me to Irma and her work, as well as her store, her crystal store. So thank you, Raven. And so I've been, talking to Irma. I had a session, with Irma as well as soul reading. I feel like earlier this year or late last year. It's like time just goes by so quickly, right? And so I'm so glad that Irma is here with us today to talk about the Andaras as well as whatever else is going to come up. So we'll see. So Irma, welcome.
Thank you so much. Yay. And thank you to Raven. Yes, I have to do a little nod to Raven Many Voices. Love her so much as well. So thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here today. Thank you.
And so because you're new to our community, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, how you got started working with the Andaras, working with, doing the soul readings and the Akashic readings? And I know you do astrology stuff as well, because that's originally what we were going to talk about, and that whole thing has changed. So can you talk a little bit about your story and your journey?
Absolutely. I wear many hats. For people that know about astrology, my Capricorn sun's in the 3rd Gemini house. So I do a lot of different things. But I enjoy being an author, and words are important to me. I'm actually working on another book right now. My journey started, I would say, really seriously. Of course, like a lot of people here, I was a spiritual child. Interested in the crystals from a very young age, interested in all spiritual things. About 27, around my Saturn return, about 27, 28 is when I got very seriously involved in working with the teacher, clearing my own stuff, going on a journey to heal a lot of my own trauma. Like a lot of other light workers, I had trauma in my childhood that I had to deal with. So the crystals have always been part of my journey. That's the one thing that's always been a constant. When I opened a healing center in Orange County, I believe it was in 1990. That's right. We had it for 9 years. I had a little retail area there. So that's when I actually became a crystal retailer and started, educating people about them and talking about the different properties. And then I had to learn more about them because I was, I had a store. I needed to know about the merchandise. So that's kind of my story with that. The Andaras, it's very interesting. I've they were in my awareness, and I was like, what are these? And there's some controversy about Andaras because there are ones that are not authentic that people are selling, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So that was, all my Scorpios, like, I have to get to the truth of this. I have to get to the bottom of what's going on about this. So I was very fortunate that I was connected to a gentleman named Mickey, who was a guardian of the Andorra property, which is in Northern California. Once I got serious about connecting with these, it's almost similar to what happened to me with crystal skulls, because I also am a crystal skull guardian, and there's a lot of wild, interesting stuff about that. Once they choose you, as you probably know, all kinds of interesting things start happening. Like people start showing up like, here are these amazing pieces for you to offer, as a guardian. So I feel really blessed that that's been the case for both the crystal skulls and the Andaras. But I made a journey up to the property in February, and I actually had 3 pounds of Andaras in my car.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great story. And I was like, I made my way back down, and I said, well, I don't want to leave them in the car because of their value. And I'm like, I don't know about having 3 pounds of Andaras in my hotel room, as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a lot of sleep. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of sleep that night. I also, like you did, you said that, they tend to connect with people before you actually have one. People receive information about them in dreams. They were connecting with me. Definitely on the etheric realm, there were a couple that I was seeing before I actually held one in my hand. Okay, so that's that part of it. As far as the Akashic goes, I've been a channel since 1996. I started mostly with the archangelic energies, or the collective.
Mm-hmm.
In 2007, I received some training in Akashic record reading, and it was one of those things, like the rest is history, like a duck to water. I was like, oh, this is really my work. And I absolutely love that work. And it's amazing how it all kind of, complements each other. The crystals, the Akashic work, and the astrology. And I will use all these tools when working with the client. I'm excited to share that after, I guess it's been about a 3-year hiatus, I'm going back to teaching Akashic record reading. I'm going to be going back to that in the late spring, early summer of 2020. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to teach that material. So thank you for asking.
Awesome. Thank you. And so today we're talking mostly about the Andaras, but when it comes to the way that I do these shows, it's it's whatever comes up. So I know that it's very fluid, it's very organic, and it's whatever comes up. So we are going to be taking some questions from callers. So if you do have a question, you can raise your hand, or you can submit a question on the Q&A. We're not going to take a lot, but we're going to do some, right? And are we going to do any process, like guided meditation or process with the crystals or anything like that?
What I could do is I could do a little transmission with Mama today, and I'm happy to do that. She spoke to me this morning when I was preparing for today, so I think we could just kind of sit with her energy and whatever, light codes, whatever she would like to share with people. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. This is her. So what else could I tell people? Oh, about the Andaras. Andaras basically are from one place in Northern California. They were found on a woman's land. Her name was Lady Nellie. She was a Choctaw Indian. The first one was found in 1967. There were others that were found after an earthquake, interestingly, on her property in the 80s that actually, caused a cleave in the land. I love that the grandchildren found them. I think that's such a great story. Like, oh, of course it'd be children, drawn to the energy of these beautiful beings, because they really are very, very conscious. So I get the question a lot, how are Andaras different than other crystals, right?
Yeah.
Because they are formed in the earth. They are similar to other obsidian type of crystals that are in the same formation. But what makes them different is the presence of something called etherium, which is prima matra, which is something that's used in Ormus. It's the single-celled, it's a powder. And some people actually take this internally. It's the presence of etherium has been found with the Andaras. Okay, so this is what separates an Andara for being an authentic Andara, coming from the property in Northern California. And as I've shared with some of the testimonials, that it was wonderful to be able to share those with the community. Those are from some of my own students and customers, and real experiences that they've had. Since I'm pretty new to this, since February of this year is when I brought them home from the property. what's cool about it is we're all just still learning. We're all still experiencing it. And I love people are emailing me, and because I always want to hear, like, what is your experience? And a lot of the things that people are reporting is a reduction in pain, and stress on that type of level. But on the other hand, there's in my community there at Bright Star Emporium, there's a lot of healers, a lot of practitioners that are in there that have actually used them with clients and had just astounding results with these. And you can imagine, doing a chakra layout, for example, with crystals is always a wonderful thing to do. But when you do a chakra layout with 7 Andaras, it's a different experience altogether. And as you can imagine, so it's really exciting to be, my nickname is the Crystal Mom. Couple of gals started calling me that, and that kind of stuck. And I love that. I feel really honored to be the Crystal Mom and to be a facilitator for these amazing beings. I love that you have some. I love that. And go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you shared the 2 that you have right now with you before we went live. So can you share them again? Because that
absolutely
beautiful.
Okay, this is a piece that is called a Shaman Brown. As you can see, she's quite large. And this is another thing. Most Andaras that you see are, anywhere from 8 grams to, 150 grams. This is a very, very large piece, and it's unusual. So her name is the Atom Heart Mother, and she very much carries a very deep earth energy, very calming and very healing is the way people describe her. I think she's showing up today because we just got through this retrograde, this very intense Scorpio season, a lot of processing, there was a lot of difficulties for a lot of folks. Yeah. I had my own challenges.
Same here.
Yeah, it hit my first house, which is where you live. So I just went into it, with blinders off, knowing it was going to be a little challenging. So, we've got our tools, we've got our crystals, our flower essences, our aromatherapy, all these great things. So yeah, back to her. So she is, of course, came across my path very magically. This is a piece that, on a retail level at that time, I would not have had the funds to purchase this at a normal retail price. So that's how one of the blessings of being a guardian is you get these magical pieces kind of come your way. You can't see it anymore. There's these crevices in here. I'm going to bring her. Yeah. You see these deep kind of crevices in here. And when I first got her, they were packed with Ethereum, the powder. They were actually packed. And this piece was really, she still is, but she told me she wanted to go to the ocean. So when I first got her, I took her to the ocean up there. I was up in the Santa Cruz area. So that's the mother. I just refer to her as the mother. And people in the group are familiar with her. This is a new piece that I received. I'm trying to think of when I got her. In the early summer of this year. This is an absolutely astounding piece.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
She's so beautiful. She carries I know you do relate to her, Laura, because she carries the dolphin, Lemurian, Atlantean, Piscean type of energy. And she, for my 4, I have 4 for the 4 elementals. She obviously is the water element. That's what she represents. Okay. And I'm going to bring her up to the camera. If you can see, she's got a lot of detail, a lot of really beautiful intricacy in this piece. The color of this Andara is called a cyan angelus, which has to do with the blue color. And then angelus, of course, means angels, right? So she is kind of like a blue or bluish green angel. Her name, when I just refer to her as Lady Scion. That's what she wants to be referred to as. Okay, so these are the 2 pieces that I brought today. Beautiful. And I do have more, but I feel like just for what we have going on, thank you. I'm gonna maybe read the comments later.
Do you want me to share mine and you can talk about them? So
okay, that's the
elder.
That's your elder. This is a sea foam. If everybody can see, that's a nice shot There, the bubbles in there.
Let me show it again. So I'll just talk for a second, and so that
Oh, yeah.
people can see it. And and you said that, oh yeah, there are bubbles. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
So this is what an elder has, a different type of energy. I wanted to ask you what you think about that, Alara, because you have an elder and then you have pieces that are not elders. So what is your highly intuitive person? What is your experience of the, how those pieces are different? I'm just curious. I wanted to ask you that.
So I always tend to go to this one first. I tend to go to this one first, and this one is the one I always hold in my hand by itself, and usually in my left hand. And it's the one that I tend to, for me, it's gentle. It's a very gentle energy, and it's very calming, right? Very calming and very peaceful. And then the other two, I tend to go to this purple one as well, quite a bit. I don't know why. It's like, I think it's because of these ridges that you can see here. There's something about these ridges. I just want to keep touching them, and I play with it, a lot, with this one. So I'm not sure what that is. And then I have this blue one, and it's like, it's smaller, but it's cute. For me, this is the baby, So as I'm looking at these now, for me, what it looks like is, this is I don't know why, but this is the father, okay? And this is the mother, okay? And then this is the baby.
Yeah.
I just got that now, so I'm glad you asked the question.
That's exactly what I was getting to. That's true. That's interesting because elders, the elders, it's interesting about gender because it's similar to crystal skulls, where people will go, how do you get this information? Well, they tell you what they are. You'll get, or you might get a name that's a masculine name or a feminine name. Right. The thing about elders, it's interesting because, well, all of them, because they contain everything. And that's another thing too. That's a good point. They will show up for you, right? Exactly how they're supposed to show up for you. And I love that you have those colors. They're very, very well suited for you and your energy that you would have. They're perfect, actually. Mm-hmm. Like, that's almost like a nice trinity, a nice core group. And then anything you get from now is going to kind of embellish that. But I love that you have purple and blue and an elder together.
So I had asked, for those of you who don't know, because I don't know who I talked to this about, but I had asked Irma, for some Andaras, and she said, how much do you want to spend? So I told her, and she said, okay, well, I can get you 3. What type do you want? And I said, you know what, you choose. I'll let you choose. You pick. So it's like, because she's the professional, she knows, and she's very intuitive, so she was able to tap in. And then when I got these, it's like, I said, oh yes, I love them. It's like, it was perfect,
This is the best part of my job as Crystal Mom. It's like, it's Christmas all the time in Bright Star Emporium. It's Christmas every week. To see people like that, like, to be lit up. And I feel like a lot of times with Andaras, and this is something I've been getting, not only have I been getting, but other people have been getting, is that it's a reuniting with these energies, right? Because these are first and foremost light worker, starseed tools. And, they're here now absolutely for a reason. I mean, they're when someone says, how would you describe these in a couple words? I just say they're next level, because they are. This is where we are right now. This is, there's so many blessings in these tools, and they have so much intelligence and so much energy to offer us. And again, like I said, I've been working with them since February, and we're still getting information about it. And that's what I think is so exciting, to be part of a community that we're all kind of, growing and learning with this together. This is the same thing. I'm an essence maker and elixir maker also. And I just started making the one that I made with the King Solomon that I don't have here right now. I have another really beautiful rare piece called the King Solomon that is a dual color. And that piece has an absolutely regal, we were talking about the royalty and queenly energy and kingly energy. He absolutely has that kind of an energy. And I made an elixir with that just about a month ago. And I've been, sharing that with people. And it's basically, with me, I'm really good at bringing it through. That's one of the things that I do. So I don't analyze it a lot, because that's kind of not part of what I do, right? I just bring it through. So the Andaras, when you put that in the mix of elixir making, now we've got a whole other level. Because I've been making elixirs for over 20 years, also gem elixirs, vibrational elixirs. So I do make them on new and full moons, and of course, as I'm guided to do. So that's another really fun thing, is now we're doing gem elixirs with Andaras, which is super cool.
So why would somebody want to get an Andara?
That's a good question. I think anybody that is looking for a tool, and what's great about them is you don't have to be a practitioner to have an Andara. I've certainly sold plenty of Andaras to people that are not healing arts practitioners, but people that are, and I know there's people in this community that are working as intuitives and energy workers. I think if that's you, it absolutely is a tool that you'll find invaluable to your practice. But if you're not, even if you're not that, I feel like it's something that's going to just innately raise the vibration of your home. It's going to raise the vibration of your personal space. And it's interesting too, because like I don't sleep with one next to the bed. I have them on the altar because they really are. And that's another thing. I've shared them with some people in my empathic communities, and they vibe, they're a very high spin rate, very, very high vibrational rate. So again, you're going to be attracted to the ones like, for example, the mother here is a shaman brown. She's more grounding, she's more earth element. Again, it's almost like they say aromatherapy. If you do, if you're attracted to certain things and you're not attracted to certain smells, I think it's the same thing, that certain people are going to really love the blues and the greens. They're going to be really attracted to that. There's going to be I have other customers that absolutely love the black, the iridium black, and the browns and the darker ones. So, so that's the thing too, is I feel like you can get very individualized with it. You can, you can do that with crystals as well, like any type of crystal. But I think that this is a little bit refined. That aspect of it is a little bit more refined.
And so can you talk about the difference between a regular Andara and an elder?
That's a good question too. Elders basically carry a deeper wisdom vibration. I find that people that are attracted to elders, this is another thing that I found, is that the people that have elders and again, I'm speaking about my group, Bright Star Emporium. Today, I think we have 980 people in there. Out of all those people, of course, a far less number of people are working with Andaras. But those folks that the first people, put it this way, when I got elders, were definitely people called to them. There was no doubt about it. It was like, oh, one of those is for me. And I would say probably 70 to 80% of all those people are grid workers. They actually are doing grids, and they're helping to heal. This is another part of their mission, re-emerging right now, is helping us to repair and re-energize aspects of the crystalline grid throughout the entire world. So it's really interesting how some of these grid makers were told very clearly from spirit, like, you're going to this place and doing it. I have one dear brother, I don't know if he's watching today, but he was clearly guided to go to Mount Shasta, to go to, maybe to Sedona. There was these other places where he was told to bring the Andaras to this location. And so that's another really cool thing. But as far as the elders go, I think that it's a subtle variance in energy. And I think you could probably attest to this because you have the three different ones.
Yeah.
You know how you said it was calming? It really is like the way it was Mickey at the property. The way he described it to me was like a grandfatherly, a grandmotherly, energy. And then we're talking spiritually about the grandmothers in a Native American sense, not our, necessarily in our bloodline that we're related to them, but that collective energy of that caring, that wisdom element. They carry that really deeply. And so do all Andaras do. But again, I think, how you were saying this one's the baby, you described it one as the baby, how that it's carrying that energy, and that's different than the papa energy.
So this one is the baby energy, but at the same time, as I'm tapping into it, and it's a more galactic energy.
Yes.
Is what I'm getting. It's the baby, yes, but it's galactic. It's a galactic energy.
And so,
Yeah.
that's true, because we're saying some of them are going to be more earth plane. And again, this is, like I was saying, people attracted to, especially the iridium black, which I don't have with me today, and the shaman brown, people that are doing shamanic work. And again, but we're at a place now historically where shamanic work is also celestial.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it all together. But we're talking about people that are doing work, on the physical, maybe more on the physical plane. So that's a good point about the celestial or the galactic, because they also carry that energy as well. Yeah. But I think the elders, it's one of those things. I think that they pick you for an absolute reason. The elders, I think, communicate even more clearly who they want to be with.
And so this elder, as you were talking now about the bubbles in it, as well, I'm going to see if you guys can see the bubbles. Maybe not, but there are bubbles. And so what I was getting right now is that these bubbles are pockets of wisdom that is being held in the Andara. I'm sure it's more than that, but it's pockets of wisdom. I don't know what else. We'll see what else wants to come through later on. But because, did I notice the bubbles before? I'm sure I did, but until you mentioned it, it's like, oh yeah. But to me, it also looks, you can't tell in this, but
I can see it. We can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of also looks like not just bubbles, but it looks like stars, So it, for me, that's what it looks like too. It's like stars, like in the Milky Way,
Right. That's beautiful. It does look like that.
So I don't know. I'm just a weird star person.
No, you're a Pisces. I'm like, keep it coming. Keep it coming.
So yeah, for those of you who may have seen or not seen the picture I took earlier today where I was wearing a crown, and then Irma had posted that Pisces are royalty from Atlantis, right? Atlantean royalty. So it's like you remembered I was Pisces, it's like, because how do you remember that? But you did, and it's like, oh, that makes total sense. I totally resonate, because we were in my private group, we were talking about the queen energy, the princess energy, the royalty energy, and embodying that, and then I decided to wear that today for the private group call.
It suits you. Absolutely.
And they told me to wear it for this call. It's like, I don't know. We'll see next time. So it's interesting how, these Andaras as well, because I did use them one time for a guided process, right? When I first got them, or just recently, and I used them, and it was like, I don't remember what the process was now, but I remember it was really different. It was really, really powerful, really powerful. So it's like, ooh, I should do that again. I only did it once, but it was so super, it was more powerful than a lot of the other processes, so.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah. How
would you describe that as being different from other processes you've done? Deeper.
Mm-hmm. It's just deeper and more powerful, and it was just, I think we went way deeper,
Right.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and find the process, but I remember how it's like, wow, that was super, super powerful.
That's what I hear from everybody that's using them, and especially these wonderful clients and friends of mine that are doing wonderful work with healing trauma, dealing with some very serious stuff out there in the world, and that these are they're facilitating. Well, another great thing about them is that they're really allowing people to move through things quickly. This is one thing I've noticed that I really love, is that maybe somebody can do something in one session that might even have taken 2 or 3 sessions. It's really speeding up the facilitation time, because again, their spin rate is higher, their vibrational rate is higher. So that level of transformation is going to be higher. But that's the one thing that I'm hearing from everyone, is that they have definitely been changed by working with them. Since working with them, they feel that their environment is different. And again, so it's so much fun, because we're still playing with it. We're still seeing what they do. But it's one of those things that they do call you, like certain crystals, the crystal kingdom, will call you. That's another important thing too, is that they are part of the overarching crystal kingdom, but the Andorra kingdom is its own kingdom. And like when you get a piece like her, you know, she has quite a lot to say. And the thing is, they all have something to say, but when you get a piece that's an elder or what would be considered like a master type of energy, like these two that I have are extraordinary. I'm so honored. What does someone asked me what a piece like she costs? Retail, the mother would have been over $1,000. I received her for significantly less than that. It was an incredible blessing. The larger, well, this is a good marker. I know people are going to ask me that. Retail Andorra Sale for, yes, in U.S. funds, yeah. People are selling authentic Andaras anywhere from $2 to $3 per gram. I'd say at average about $2. When you get into $3 and $4 per gram, we're talking about rare pieces. I mentioned something called the King Solomon. There's another piece that I sell called the Rainbow that is very rare. These are considered extinct varieties, which means that they're very limited. And when they're gone, well, with any of these, when they're gone because they're from one place. So there's that. But when you have a rainbow, rainbows are extremely rare. That I'm really blessed that I was turned on to that type because it helps with the new children. That's what the rainbows do. And that's really, really cool. So those basically in my store, I do sell them for about at least 25% off retail, depending on the type. But someone was asking about price. So you're looking at anywhere from $1 to $3 per gram based on the rarity of the piece. Some colors are far more rare to get, like this brown, like the brown is a more rare piece, for example. The sea foam that you have, the elders are much more, elders are quite rare. And if people go out to do a search out there in the world to find them, I know for a fact there's probably 3 people that I know of that sell authentic ones, and I'm one of those people. So that's what we're looking at, okay? But so, and also I've seen people that sell authentic ones for $6, you know, really outlandish prices. And, you know, I don't resonate with that just because these are supposed to be disseminated to the people. That's what they're supposed to be done. I mean, of course, you know, it's all about right livelihood. But again, I always invite people, you know, be mindful of your source. Like really check out your source. Who is this person? And this is the key thing. Lady Nellie is the key. If they don't know who Lady Nellie is, then that it's not a Nellie Andara, and I wouldn't recommend purchasing it. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. So yes, they are limited. You know, so I mean, I didn't know about you until Raven told me about you, and Raven trusted you. So it's like, all right, cool. You know, that was enough for me to trust you. It's like if Raven trusts you, awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
Thank
so
you,
it's like. And that's why, you know, like I'd been in the group and looking at things, you know, for a while. I hadn't bought anything because it's like, oh, the shipping is going to be blah, 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 you know, because I'm all the way over here in Europe. And then it's like, you know what? Yeah, I need to get some Andaras. And then I contacted you and you know, and you gave me a great deal and all that wonderful stuff.
They got there so fast too. That was so cool.
I know. I was so happy. It's like, yay.
They got there like, well, they're supposed to get there. I was like, yay.
And and they got here safely. So, you know. Also a big thing for me. So
yes.
I'm still waiting on that one more thing that I asked you about. She's like, oh, I forgot about that.
Which thing? What did you ask me about?
Go back and check your Facebook messages later.
Oh, okay. Check my messages later. Okay, I will. Okay, I promise.
So one of the things we wanted to share really quickly was so Irma shared one of the free gifts was a book on Andaras. So that is on the gifts page, right? For those of you who are part of the community and, you know, all that wonderful stuff. There's 3 gifts. I kept the other 2 as well. It's just like, I'll just give all 3, you know? So there's 3 gifts that Irma has on the gifts page. So please do check those out. And one of those is a book on Andaras since we changed our topic, you know, to Andaras. So that will give you a little bit more information about the Andaras. And also, if you join her Bright Star Emporium Facebook group, right?
Yes.
Make sure you tell her that you know me or the show or something. And if you decide to buy something, then she'll give you a 10% discount on something that you buy, right?
And that's correct. I also want to add that I've started a new page for the Emporium at Instagram, and it's Bright Star Emporium at Instagram, all one word. And if you would like, for Instagram folks, if you would like to purchase something from that page from the show, it's also 10% off there.
Yeah. So make sure you mention the show. You can just say Alara or the Alara Canfield Show or Awaken to Happiness Now or whatever. She'll know, right? So make sure you do that because, why not, right? Especially if you're interested in the Andaras, right? If they're calling to you and saying, oh, I really want to get one too, right? Then, or other stuff. I mean, Irma has lots of stuff, not just the Andorra.
I do. We got lots of stuff.
Exactly, and there's always sales going on all the time, and she also has like a box that you do every month as well, right?
I do. I have a subscriber box. It's quarterly.
Quarterly, yeah.
Yeah, I have a quarterly subscriber box. I do want to tell folks that our next, and we are having an Andorra Sale. Andaras only, and it's December 14th. So I want to mention that. That will be in the Facebook group. I will have some pieces in the Instagram, on the Instagram page, but that's going to be all Andaras for that day on December 14th. And those will be my best prices. And that's going to be our last sale of the year for 2019. So we'd love to have you there.
Good. So I will just send you a Facebook message ahead of time. Say, okay, pick me some. You be intuitive and you choose.
Okay. That's my favorite. I wish more people would do that, actually. And I love that because, most people, I have to say, they are happy for that, that I do, and I love it also, though, when people go, oh, this is another fun thing. They already know which one it is. Like they've got it in the dream, they got it in meditation. And then when I post it, they're like, bingo, that's it. That's fun too. That's a lot of fun.
I mean, I already know I'm supposed to have at least one more, right? Because I keep saying there's 4, but I only have 3. Am I missing one? So I'll keep looking wherever they're placed. Is there another one here? So it's like, I know there's going to be another one. So at least one more.
I'm getting a vibe on 2 different ones. One of them I have, the other one I don't, but I can get. So I'll talk to you about that.
Awesome. Good.
Okay.
All right. All right. So does anybody have any questions for Irma about Andaras or I don't know? Anything.
Yeah, anything.
I love it when people say anything. Then it's like, all right, the doors are open.
That's the way.
So you can raise your hand, but I'm going to be really strict about this. You want to ask a question? Ask a question, not what message does something or somebody have for me.
No, I want to ask about my Malachite because I'm so drawn to them all the time.
So you're wondering why are you drawn to Malachite? What's the question?
I don't know why I keep getting drawn to Malachite. I just love this one. It's so beautiful. And I had a shaman who actually imprinted it into my DNA.
Well, that's why, I think, right?
Why you're so attracted to them. Yeah.
I love Malachite also.
Me too.
But
Malachite's very special.
Okay, in what way?
Well, it just when you look at the pattern of it, especially see the patterns in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially the boitroidal, if I'm pronouncing that right. I think because it's whenever you have a crystal that's only from maybe 1 or 2 areas on the entire planet, which is Malachite, which is one of those, that carries a different vibration than a crystal. For example, I love quartz. But quartz is everywhere. Quartz is all over the planet. Again, I love it. I'm Capricorn. Capricorns didn't resonate with that, I found. But there we go. Look at that beauty. Wow.
and this one I got in Mount Shasta.
Oh, that's beautiful. That piece is amazing. Right? But I think to answer Linda's question, I think there's something about, it's an individual thing because we like what we like. Because we could talk about the color, you could talk about the chakra, there's that. But I was getting that I think it's because it's very specific. It's not all over the world. It is considered a rare crystal because it's not found in multiple areas. So that's, for what it's worth, that's what I got on Malachite.
Thank you very much.
And so instead of, so just enjoy it. Like,
absolutely. Listen
I like
and listen
Malachite.
to it. Yeah, I would like definitely listen to it. You know, like you could take a little nap with it. That's a nice thing to do with your crystals.
Yeah.
The joke is, you know, bright star. Like if you sleep with, like, you know, sometimes they end up out of the bed and on the floor, and you want to be careful about that. But I don't actually sleep the full night with my crystals, but I take a little nap with my crystals. You know, here on the couch, and that's a good way to receive information from your crystals. Meditate with it, or take a little nap with it. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, you also receive usually healing of some sort as well, you know,
Absolutely.
so why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, anybody else got any question for Irma? So Irma, okay, so one thing, my daughter is really good and big on the astrology thing. I never remember what I am. I'm Pisces, as you know, but there's some hold on, Capricorn thing and Aquarius thing. So
Okay.
one is like something rising and something. I don't get those things at all.
You don't get it at all?
I don't get it at all.
Chart?
You know, I don't get it at all. And it's like, I like, what does it mean? I'm something rising, and I'm maybe in Capricorn rising, you know, or I don't know. And it's like, what does that mean, and how can it help you? I know sometimes I sound really stupid, right, guys? It's like,
no, you don't. Not at all. That's a good question. That's a great question. Your rising sign is also called your ascendant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so you a Capricorn ascendant for you. That's interesting. I'd like to look at your chart.
I could be wrong, because my daughter always knows.
Send over your details, Alara, and I'll look at it. But your rising is basically, what's interesting is it comes at the way it's been described. It comes into the room before you do. Mm-hmm. This is a good example. I have a Scorpio rising. That's kind of clear. A lot of people think I'm a Scorpio, then they get to know me better, but I very much am like a Capricorn once you get to know me. So it's been described as your mask. And again, it's what people encounter before you, goes in the room before you. Right. So that's how that's a good expression for that. And it's also the filter in which you see the world. And I do see the world in a very Scorpionic way. Mm-hmm. I've been involved in healing my whole life, whether for myself or facilitating for other people. Mm-hmm. I'm using myself as an example just because, why not? Scorpio is a very good truth seeker. It's very much at getting to, I used to say that I'm not interested in putting Band-Aids on things. I'm all about going to the root, which is another reason why I think that I'm working with Andaras, because again, next level tool, very high vibration, speeding up the process, all of that. But that's what your rising sign is your mask. And it's also what the public encounters when they first meet you. Your moon is your emotional life, of course, extremely important. If you're not feeding your moon, you're not going to be probably a very happy person, no matter who you are, because that's what emotionally floats your boat and gets you out of bed in the morning and all of that. Your sun, a lot of people only know their sun sign, which you're a Pisces, I'm a Capricorn. It's extremely important, but you have 11 other planets. And, your personal planets are equally as important. Your Venus has to do with your love language, what you value, for example. Your Mercury is how you communicate, which is also extremely important. Somebody like you that's a great communicator, I'd be curious to see what sign your Mercury is in. And I think I'm guessing it might even be in something like Aquarius, which is all about very high level, bringing new things that haven't been on the earth plane before. Sounds a little familiar.
It sure does.
rocking that, that higher dimension, all of that stuff. So you can see that each one of these has a gift, it's a little part of your, the whole picture. So that's why I don't like it when people just hang their hat on the sun sign, because there's so much more going on. Right. So how can you use it to help you? That's a really good question. I think that, especially me, when I look at the whole chart, you can really see strengths and weaknesses in a birth chart, for example. A good example for me is I have a lot of stuff in the second house, which has to do with your self-esteem. It has to do with your earned income. So I had some challenges in that area in my younger life. I had some things I had to overcome there. But then again, we all know spiritually, look at there's so much gold in that. You know, the expression, there's gold in your shadow. Whatever you overcome, you get to keep that, right? That's wisdom that's yours. Nobody can ever take that from you. That's part of who you are. So then this way we can use our, you know, whatever you want to call them, challenges, disadvantages. We can find the advantage in them, right? We can find, and then when you look at the chart as a whole, for example, your Jupiter, we call that, what is that? The cosmic wink from the universe. This is merit from previous lives. This is goodness and grace that you bring in. So right now we have Jupiter has been in Sagittarius, for example, in the collective. Jupiter will be moving into Capricorn very soon in December. So that means anybody with sun, moon, and rising in Capricorn is going to have that influence, which is lovely because I have a Capricorn sun. So I'm like, bring it on, baby. So this is, Jupiter expands. And so another important thing to remember about Jupiter, it's not always positive because it naturally expands. So that it can expand negative things too. So that's why you have to be very mindful when you have it. Like, for example, you have a Jupiter return, that it's expanding what you want expanded, right? But it's known mostly for bringing blessings of financial and other nature. Yeah.
So the reason why I'm talking about this as well is because this is one of your specialties as well, the astrology stuff. And so if, let's say, this is totally out there now, but let's say, you know, we did that chart, right? And the chart is a visual, it's a diagram, right? And so then we have the chart, let's say we print it out, then can we place our Andaras on the chart to do something?
You know what? That is so cool. That is so Piscean. I love that so much. Oh my gosh. I'm ready to lift off this couch over here. I love that so much. Thank you. Let's all do that. Let's do that. Look at you. Wow. Thank you. That's amazing. Because I've already thought about, you know, we've already talked about putting them on the body. We've talked about working with animals with them, making gem elixirs with them. Why not put it on your chart? Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I even got that's even taking that a step further is you have your natal chart. You also have something that are called transits. You guys might have heard of this. So you know, for example, your moon is in a certain sign when you're born, but now in 2019, it's in a different place, right? That's because it's transited. Sometimes we can have transits that are really challenging or difficult, sometimes involving the Saturn, you know, the influence of Saturn, which can be constrictive. Pluto, which ultimately is here to transform you, but it's not always pretty, that's for sure. So we can take, what I'm getting is you could take your transit chart and you could, if you're going through a particularly difficult transit, I would use the Andaras there as well. That's a fantastic suggestion.
Yay, there you go. See, another use for both the astrology stuff and the Andaras.
How much do you rock? Yeah.
So I think that's what I want to do, you know, for myself.
That's amazing. I love that idea. I'm going to do it too. Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
So we will talk afterwards and, you know, I'll do the chart thing and then, you know, use my Andaras to fix stuff.
I love that you got the first part and then I got the second part. You know, I love that because I feel like people really, you know, transits can be difficult. They really can. And the one thing the only like positive thing about it when you're going through something really tough is this too shall pass. Because they're weather. They're like the weather. They're moving in and out. But you know, some of these transits can last a long time. They can last a couple of years. So I think that, you know, depending on the planet. So I think that's a beautiful application. I love it. Wow.
Good. Awesome.
Love it.
So there's a question from Sunny. Sunny says, my moon is in conjunction with Neptune in my 10th house, which is in Sagittarius, and I can't find my career path. Any hope for me?
Wow. Okay. Read that again. Moon is in
conjunction with Neptune in my 10th house, which is in Sagittarius, and I can't find my career path. Any hope for me?
Okay. Interesting. Well, the Neptune, this is the thing. The Neptune is nebulous. Neptune is a nebulous influence. So that's part of why that's not, you know, really taking a form. But Moon conjunct Neptune would give somebody would be naturally really intuitive with that, would be very sensitive, would be very empathic. And then it's ruled, the house ruler is Sagittarius, which is all about truth, which is all about spirituality. This is fun. I haven't done this in a while. So the two strengths of that, well, it's very spiritual. So yeah. I feel like something that would utilize that energy. And the beauty about Neptune is it can be anything you want. It's kind of formless, right? I mean, that influence, and it's inspirational. It's your ruling planet. She's nodding her head like, you get Neptune at a very deep level because you're a Pisces. So that would mean that would contribute though to nebulousness though. Neptune is not solid. So but at the same time, 10th house is Capricorn, it's absolutely solid. So you can see how those two things aren't necessarily hanging out in the same place. But what I get just kind of innately, just kind of bringing it through is, and Sag has to do, thank you. Sag has to do with higher learning and education. It has to do with academia. It has to do also with any kind of learning. It could be non-traditional or traditional. So I'm bringing that through for that person. That's what I got. Look into that. Look into spiritual, like this person's a spiritual creative, like we all, like Alara and I are. That's what we would be considered. So if you have that, depending on the rest of the chart, this person's probably a spiritual creative type of individual. But yeah, think about education. Student teacher can go either way. That's my comment on that.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. So let us know how that resonates with you, Sunny. And Julia says, I'm with Alara. I have a chart, Virgo rising, Aries moon, Aries sun, Aries. I'm right on the cusp between Aries and Taurus, but relate much more to being a Taurus. Is there a crystal that would resonate more with me? Crystal or Andara, Julia?
Yeah.
Either or. I'm going to say, either or. Which one would resonate with her?
Tell me those chart coordinates again. Aries, sun.
Virgo rising, Aries moon, Aries sun, Aries sun, Taurus, right on the cusp between Aries and Taurus.
Okay. And then the Aries moon, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting influence because I have Aries and Virgo also. The thing about Aries energy is it can be a little, sometimes you need to take it down a notch. That's why I was surprised, for example, that one of my main Andaras is called the Blaze, and it's bright red. Mm-hmm. And, it's very fiery energy, but it is small because it's one of those things like it doesn't need to be this big because it's red. Because it packs quite a punch energetically is what I mean. So I think with Aries and Virgo, it's always a thing about stones that are grounding and also nurturing. The thing about Virgo rules the digestive. And I don't know if this individual, gets this stuff like I do, but I have a Virgo stellium, which means I have 3 planets in Virgo. So yes, okay, good. So I would say, definitely something that's nurturing, stones that are nurturing to digestion. I'm also picking up carnelian for you, okay, which is actually nice because it's I'm getting red and brown. So like the jaspers, the carnelians, things of that nature. But also I always recommend you go with people know what's best for them. When they go in the crystal store, you know what I mean? If you tend to resonate. I watch people do it all the time. It's pretty cool. And these are people that even maybe this is the first or second crystal store they've been in. I noticed this in Sedona when I was in Sedona last time. I love watching people come in. Maybe they're tourists. They've never been in a crystal store. And then they just walk right over to something and they handle it and they hang out with it. And then a lot of times I ended up meeting a woman. It's wonderful. She's one of my customers now. And I recommended some stuff, but I wanted to ask her first what she was getting. And we got the same thing because people innately, a lot of times know what they need, right? They do. Yeah. But for that question, I would say I was getting the red and brown and the grounding. And
that's what she said. She said, I do have crystals like that, and I'm always looking for grounding crystals.
Okay, good. Good. Okay, good.
Perfect.
Thank you for the question.
And you are very intuitive, Julia. So, yes, go with your knowing, go with your gut. And so Sunny had said, thank you very much. Yes, I'm beyond sensitive, truth, and freedom seeker, and keep learning new stuff all the time. Very spot on. Caroline says, Now, we're only taking a few questions. So Caroline says, would love to see what Irma picks up for another Andara for me. I'm a life path 9, Cancer, July 10th, 63. You're 63? What? No, you're not.
Oh, so she has an Andorra?
She has one, but she wants another one.
What color does she have now? Could she tell me?
So let us know what color you already have.
Or what type you have now?
Yeah, let us know what type. She said, I'm a healer, shaman, empath, sensitive, singer, vibrational toning, intuitive, etc. Which one do you have right now?
Which one do you have right now?
Oh, she might have been born in 63. Yeah, that makes more sense. Thank you, Julia. We'll see what she says. Oh, she says she has an aqua something or other.
Yeah, I thought, okay. You know what I'm getting? And it's interesting. She's a singer. Did she say she's a singer? Okay, I got that. I don't have one right here to show you, but the yellow ones are really beautiful. They're called heliodors. And I'm getting a yellow for her. Okay. And it has something to do with her singing. But these yellow Andaras are just, they're so special. I mean, they're all special, but there's something about the yellow. People have described the yellow and the orange like the sun, like literally like the rays of the sun.
I was thinking joy right away when you said the yellow one. It's just joy, pure joy.
And the way you feel like on a sunny day, it's very refreshing. It's like that kind of energy. So for that person, I would recommend a Heliodor yellow for you. That's what I received for you.
Awesome. Heliodor yellow. Okay. So,
yes.
Wait a second. There was a question.
You're welcome.
But there's no question. Oh, there's a question. So Michelle, I think it's Michelle, said my Chiron in Aries, my birth sign in the 12th house. How will Chiron transit affect me? Chiron is never gentle, that's for sure. You know,
that's a good question. Thank you for asking that. Really, that's a good question. I did a whole teaching on Chiron and Aries a while ago. I also have a private astrology group called Cosmic Weather, if anyone's interested in that. That's when I really go and did this stuff in more depth.
Sorry. She says, I meant my natal chart, Chiron is in Aries, 12th house.
Right. Got it. So, but Chiron is in Aries right now in the world chart. So that means that you're having a Chiron return in a sense. By sign. I don't know by degree because I'm not, my chart group, I'm on Facebook. This is what I recommend everyone do. Go to Cosmic Weather at Facebook, which is at Stars and Vibes, or you could type in unfortunately other people use the name and I have the trademark and that's a whole other thing. And I don't get nasty about it, but I really wish they quit using my name because I have the trademark. Anyway, it's at Stars and Vibes. Like all together. That's Cosmic Weather, the main group. And from there, I'm going to post information today about how you can join the subscriber group. And that starts at just $22 a month. And I have different tiers for that. But to answer your question, Chiron is in Aries right now. This is a great, great question. Chiron had been in Pisces for a very long time. And the bright side of that was it taught us compassion, which a lot of people need to learn that. And empathy and all of those wonderful Piscean traits. It's now in Aries, which is the spiritual warrior. So really, this is for light workers. This is very potent time for us because it's another thing that I got intuitively. And then I ended up, discovering this, reading some other material. But a lot of light workers and empaths have what I call, I call it the existence wound where, a lot of us were actually, unfortunately, even told that we weren't wanted. It's a feeling of being unwelcome. And of course, the feeling of like, oh, I want to go back to the home planet.
And anywhere but here. Yeah.
I mean, like, what's going on? Like, really? I had to come here? I know, right? So what's beautiful about Chiron and Aries is that Aries is the I am. It's the I am energy. And that in its purest form is so powerful. I mean, think about that. They say when, you say I am statements, that's like the most powerful thing you can do, right? Yeah. I am grateful. I am abundant. I am healthy, whatever it is. So thinking about you in your 12th house, this is an interesting dichotomy. The 12th house is Pisces. It's all about, it's super cosmic. It's undoing. It is basically our connection to the cosmos, to something that's not human. So Chiron is the wounded healer, right? So basically when it's in your 12th, in your birth chart, you're going to be innately, again, all these psychic people in here, I'm totally not surprised. So when it's in your 12th, you are going to have a really interesting innate understanding of other human beings. This is a natural empath aspect. Like if someone handed me a chart, I didn't know anything about that person, I would look at that and know that they were an empathic person because of that. Okay. There's a whole other thing I could get into with past lives and stuff. We don't have a lot of time to do that. But to answer your question, what we're being called to do with Chiron and Aries is to really step up into our spiritual warriorship. The shadow of Chiron and Aries is is the stiff upper lip, or what we call the spiritual bypassing, they just get over it community that makes me want to scream. You can't, like we used to say back in massage days, you can't heal it until you feel it. You cannot bypass, right, what is going on. So that's the shadow of that energy, is to maybe just power through everything. But on the upside of that energy is to really become fully embodied, which is beautiful. Like that is beautiful. And when you think about as light workers, as individuals like us, that, that's been challenging for some people. You know what I mean? Like it's easier to be fragmented. It's easier to be hanging up out in these chakras and not be fully present. So this is going to help us be more fully embodied to our mission. So that part of it, I love. I love, love, love it. So thank you for your question.
So hopefully that resonates and answers some question, but it's about embodying your mission now.
It is. And spiritual warriorship, and the I am.
Yeah. So be the spiritual warrior that you are, use your I am statements and embody that.
Absolutely.
And move
Great
forward.
question. Thank you.
All right. So Reverend Randy has been asking this question a couple of times. So you might know, because no one so far has been able to answer him, I don't think. What's one word for when you experience all four clairs at once? Is there a word for that?
Source energy. No, I'm not trying to be funny. No, but I mean, that's just what came to me. All four clairs at once. So we're talking clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient. What's the other one I'm missing?
Clairvoyance, clairaudient, clairsentient, claircognizant.
Claircognizant.
So clear knowing, seeing, hearing, and feeling.
What would I describe that as? I would describe that as an 8th dimensional, fully awake, aspirant. That's what I would describe that, because we always go in and out of all of those, right? I mean, we do that. I mean, we have for example, I'm like primarily clairvoyant. That's my, and clairaudient. Those are my two. But then we all kind of go, like I said, we all have times where, you can feel things. With me, this is another thing, because I'm so empathic. I've trained myself over many years to not process the environment through my physical body.
Right.
It was a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to do that too. And I was like, no more.
It was an issue. I had to really, after the big tsunami in 2005 or whenever that was, I went with guidance and said, I couldn't get out of bed. I was leveled. Yeah. And I went, I can't do this. I can't function like this. So this has been a process of me, learning that. Speaking of that, I'm also doing a series with Metaphysical School right now that's free on empath empowerment. If anybody's interested in that, that's going to be on this is a great opportunity because it's me and 20 other teachers. It's a fantastic masterclass. So I recommend people do that. That's going to be on the November 25th all the way to December 11th. It will be free. So if anybody in this community is looking for some support regarding sensitivity and empathy, I highly recommend that, because that's a fantastic free opportunity. But seriously, to answer your question, that's very powerful. She wants to know where can we get them that link? We'll get them that link, Laura, to I'm gonna. I'll
share it on Facebook, and the email that will go out.
Okay, thank you. I want to make sure because people were inquiring about that. That's very powerful to have all of those at once. I mean, this is basically when you hear stories about people that are very awake when they are born here, that they have all the channels open. That can be really overwhelming when you think about all of that at once. that would be a lot to navigate.
Yeah.
But I hope that answers that a little bit for you.
So the gist of that was eighth dimensional awareness.
Well, just very,
Randy.
very high vibrational. I mean, the first thing I heard was source energy. I mean, I heard just very high vibrational energy. But at the same time, I think that this has to do with the individual, because not everybody is supposed to be here with all their channels open like that, because it would be really hard to like get in your car and go live in a big city or do whatever you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
I moved out here to a much smaller town, for example, because I couldn't hang with the big city, based on where I was vibrationally. And when I go back to visit for business or whatever, I'm so happy to leave.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to visit, and I'm really happy to leave. But anyway, so I think that, that has a lot to do with somebody's individual mission, their clairs in general.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you. It leads to invoking more discernment. Yes, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. No worries. All right, so I want to take a moment and talk about the special offer that Irma has for us. I mean, it's like, I know like there's so much that we've shared already, but for those of you who are on the live page, you can just click on special offer. And those of you who are not, you can go to alara.at/show/Irma11. I'm just going to share my screen. It's really quick to share. All right, so for Irma, we have a special offer of a 2020 mini Akashic reading or a soul profile reading. All right, and so Irma, do you want to just talk a little bit about what the Akashic reading is like or about, and what the soul profile reading is?
I did one for you.
Yep.
That was fun. Soul Profile is my most popular reading. Basically, it's a brief reading, but we get in and we look at your soul mission, and we thank you for that beautiful page you guys created. Look at your soul mission challenges. A lot of times I'll receive totem animals for pre-power totem animals. I do sometimes receive numbers, and this is different than, sometimes these numbers are different than your actual numerology based on your birthday and your name. It's more like a soul number. Sometimes I'll receive that. And I also just open it up to whatever wants to come through. I connect with the guides of the individual that I'm reading. And as you know, that your reading was pretty unique and fun, if I remember, Alara.
It was. I feel like I need to do another one, or I need to go back and listen to it again. It was spot on. It was like,
that was so much fun. And this is exactly the kind of community that I love reading the folks in. For the 2020, I was guided to do that. It's just going to be a mini reading. We're going to look at what I'm getting, that there's themes, right? Every year has a theme. I know my year had a theme for sure this year. We're going to look at what the theme is for the individual for 2020. 2020 is such a big deal. It's a new decade. It's a 4 in numerology. If anybody's interested, I'm going live on my Facebook page on December 13th. I'll have a replay available. I have an amazing special guest astrologer, Shannon Murray of Lunar Ladies, and we're going to get into it. We're going to get into all of this cool stuff that we're seeing for 2020. So if people are interested in that, I wanted to put that out there. But this is going to be basically I'm going to go in your Akashic record. What am I seeing for you for 2020? What do your guides want you to know? What are you working on? What are you leaving behind? This really is such an important year. This is part of the reason why this year has been really challenging, because there's a lot of stuff that whatever needs to go, it needs to go.
Yeah.
Right. So there might be a little bit of that residual that you're working on. But again, it's in our highest and best good. Sometimes it's hard to see that. But, I've been doing this a while, and you start seeing the patterns. So that's what's going on with that. So they're both mini readings. But hopefully, that you can convey a lot of information in a mini reading at an Akashic level. You really can. That's another reason I love it, is you don't have to have a 1 hour reading or type up all these words to get the point across. Exactly. So the Akashic Wisdom Keepers are concise. They have a great sense of humor. I love working with them. So thanks for asking that. That's basically about those readings.
And so these are not live calls, right?
No.
Can you explain that a little bit for people in case they're wondering, when am I having my session with Irma?
Well, I've already offered these now. I usually have a pretty big queue. So if people could be patient in delivery of readings, I'd appreciate that. Right now it's probably about 2 weeks out. It rarely goes past 2 weeks though. If they do want to do, I am available for individual sessions, via Zoom or phone. I kind of prefer phone because I don't really like people looking at me when I'm doing what I do. So I do a lot of phone sessions, and they are recorded, and those are per hour if people are interested in some more detailed work with me. But these, for the mini readings, I either do a voice file. A lot of times I do a voice file. I think that's what I did for Alara. Yeah. And then I will send that to your email. And then, of course, if you have any questions, feel free to message me if you have any questions about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much are the hour sessions?
My special for this group is going to be friends and family rate is going to be $165 an hour.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah.
So make sure you mention.
Yes, please mention.
If you don't mention Alara, then you're not going to get the friends and family rate.
That's right. You want the friends and family rate. Mention Alara.
Yeah. All right. So anybody else have any questions about any of that stuff? So again, the special offer for the mini Akashic reading or the mini soul profile, right?
Soul profile. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is available at alara.at/show/Irma11. Yeah. All right. So take a look at that.
I love that it's 11. Did you pick 11 for a reason?
Because it's November.
Oh, well, my birthday's 1/11.
There you go.
Do you need your time of birth for an Akashic reading? No. All I need, that's a good question. Thanks for asking. I need your full name and your birthday to access your record. I do not need your time of birth. I need that for a chart reading, obviously, but for the Akashic, I don't. Thanks for asking that.
Yeah. Good. All right. So we're going to get a little transmission from the Mother Andara.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
See what she has to share.
I haven't really done this in this kind of capacity, but I think I gave a transmission at Bright Star Emporium once. So I think what we'd like to do, first of all, for people that have Andaras at home, playing the home game, please get your Andaras. They probably are with you anyway in the room, but go get those.
I've got mine in my hands.
Yeah, so this is what we're going to do. This is going to serve like a dual purpose. If you have an Andara, she is going to bless and further activate the Andara that you have. We're going to do that. If you do not have an Andara, that is perfectly okay. This being right here has a tremendous amount of love and information, and she's happy to share it. She spoke to me this morning, and like we were speaking when we first started, that it's been a pretty intense retrograde. There's a lot of things that have come up. There's a lot of grief. There was a lot of, since I'm out there dealing with the collective, my one page has a lot of folks on it. So many grandmothers here. Yay. There's just been a lot. It's been a lot. So I feel on so many levels, right? So I feel like what we want to do today is just kind of come back to center, get into that wonderful healing place, that grounded place. Her message is always that we're, to be safe and well. It's all about safety. That is really a thing that Mother brings us, is that wonderful kind of puts a blanket of safety around us. So that's what we're going to do. Do you think maybe that I think this will probably just be a few minutes. What do you think? Oh, people are feeling her already. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take off the glasses. And why don't we do this? Why don't we take 3 deep breaths together? Wow, that feels good. Okay, one more. So really all you need to do is just be open and receptive to receive this transmission from this Master, Mother Andara. We're also calling in the Andorra Kingdom and acknowledging the folks here that their pieces are with us. We appreciate that. So Mother Andara is here to give a unique blessing to everyone that wants to partake of her energy and also of the Andorra Kingdom, of which she is a part. I feel her connecting through the heart chakra in our group. We now have a group heart chakra connection. She sends her energy out in waves. And if you're feeling emotion, that's perfectly okay. We're just going to ride that wave. Wow, you guys are really powerful. I'm seeing now that we're taking this energy and we're blessing the grid with it. And please join me in your intention that we are sharing this energy for the benefit of all sentient beings everywhere that would choose to partake in this lovely healing that she's giving us today. Her message to everyone is that they are deeply loved and acknowledged for exactly who they are. And may your mission continue to unfold in the most beautiful and abundant way for you. And so it is. When you feel ready, let's all come back to the room, taking your time.
All right, everybody, how are you doing? Welcome back. Linda says that was beautiful. Good. You're very welcome, Linda. Thank you.
Thank you. What a great group today.
Caroline says, my womb is thumping. Received an activation in both my eyes and an anointment with one of my eagle feathers as she stood over me. Wow.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Namaste. Yeah.
Pure love, Sunny says. Thank you. Good.
Wow, she saw her. That's amazing. She does take form. She does. She's been known to do that.
Vibrations throughout my body. Awesome, Julia.
Thank you, beautiful Eagle Song woman. Thank you for being with us. There's a beautiful group here today.
Yeah, are you still at work, Caroline? Because I thought I saw you for a second. Oh yes, okay. All right. So
what an amazing group. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, aren't they great?
They are.
So wow, I was just gonna. I wanted to go back and recapitulate a few things, and so just so you know, I asked my daughter, right? I asked my daughter, I said, so Aquarius moon, Capricorn rising for me? She says, yes.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
So I was
getting that Aquarius, right? Like I was getting that. I was so getting that. That's so you. And, I love it.
And it's like, I always have to ask her each time, and each time she says yes. And it's like, okay, just making sure, because I never.
It's a good thing you have a Capricorn, because you would just be like floating in the cosmos all the time.
Yeah. Exactly.
You'd be like, I don't know what day it is.
Yep.
You'd be like, I have to be on the what? Oh, we have a thing today? I mean, that Capricorn helps you with stuff like this.
Yes, exactly. If without it, I would not be able to function. It's like I wouldn't even be here.
That's a really great chart, though, for what you do. I love it.
Yeah, so we will talk about that on another thing, right? So I wanted to remind everybody again, the free gifts that Irma has, there's 3 of them. One of them is a book on Andaras. Okay, so check out the gifts page, check that out. Check out Bright Star Emporium on Facebook. Make sure you mention, if you're going to buy anything from there, make sure you mention Alara, the Alara Canfield Show, Awaken Happiness Now, anything like that, to get a 10% discount. I'm trying to remember all the different things we talked about. And then the cosmic weather stuff, the astrology stuff.
Yeah.
There was something else. Oh my God, and you're going to forget.
When you're thinking of that, I want to share with folks that that participated today in the ebook. I received a lot of information from the mother when I first got her. I got a lot of transmissions. This is in the ebook. And if you enjoyed her today, you're definitely going to want to read that and check that out. And that's in the free PDF on Andaras that I wrote. So I just wanted to let people know. I also go into a little bit of detail, and this is really great for people that are considering buying one or more. I mean, we go into the colors, a little information about in the different types, and then of course there's a lot of transmission from her and backstory. There's quite a lot of, it's not a long book, but there's quite a lot of information crammed in there. So if you're interested in the Andaras, I definitely recommend you read that. Okay, I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, I'll put the link for the Empath Empowerment class that's coming up as well. And then
that's going to be a great opportunity for folks. That's
and just follow, friend or follow Irma on Facebook, and she posts, a lot of stuff. So you'll see the stuff there as well. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but you can always go back and watch or listen to this again, because I know there was some other stuff.
So much fun. I'm so excited. I knew we were going to have an amazing time. I'm so honored to be on here today. Thank you.
Oh yeah, so much fun. And check out the soul profile reading or the Akashic record reading. That's available either or, right? So that's available at alara.at/show/Irma11. Okay. So, wow, that was a full call, full information, so much information. Transmission was wonderful. Talking about the beautiful Andaras was so lovely. Talking about the astrology stuff, and when I do my transit, when I get my transit chart, I'm going to use my Andaras to.
Thank you for that. That is so cool. That is so cool.
I'm going to make my life easier.
Yes.
All right. So, Bill, did you have a question?
I'm okay.
Okay. Awesome. Good.
Thank you. It was great, though. I have a lot of Andaras.
Oh, good.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing them to the call with us.
To the Andorra party today. That was cool. I could sense that people had some. That was cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was fun. All right, so I will be sending out the replay shortly, and I'll put the whatever links that we need to put in the email. I'll put those in so you guys can find out more information. But yeah, this was so much fun. Thank you, Irma.
Oh, thank you. This was great. I knew it was going to be great. I love you.
Can you just show those 2 Andaras again one more time?
Yes, I can. This is the mother. This is the Adam Hart Mother, which is a shaman brown, directly from the property. This is Lady Scion, which is a Scion blue that is actually also from the property. I'm inviting myself.
That's the one
I'm
I like.
inviting myself again, Laura. I have another one that is actually from Lady Nellie's personal collection. So she's not here. That's not that. It's a he actually. So you can have me. We'll have to bring him on sometime. Okay.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? And you're right. The one that I like is that Lady Scion one. I mean, like as soon as I saw her, it's like, oh my God, yeah.
Well, she would so appeal to your Piscean, nature. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just speaking of that, of course, this is a very large piece, but you can get a Scion that's much smaller and more affordable, but does carry the same energy as the lady. Okay. And they are that color, either a little darker or lighter, but they're in this color range. Okay. And the same thing with the brown. You can get a shaman brown that's smaller and more affordable also. Just wanted to let that know.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that was the other thing. The Andorra Sale is coming up. So
Andorra, thank you. Andorra Sale is December 14th in Bright Star Emporium. It is all days from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. We are going to have some fantastic pieces there. And
so
again,
I have already said that I'm going to, or I don't even have to. I've already made the intention and made the declaration that Irma is going to pick some out for me, because I will not be able to look on that day and see what's there. So I'm gonna. But
that's another thing too, is you can do that like I did for Laura. If you have a budget in mind and you have, I'm happy to choose some for you. That is a service that I provide. That is not additional. No fees charged for that. That's just part of what I do as the crystal mom. So and that works better for people because, some days people can't be online or whatnot. We do have a lot of rotating stock here on a regular basis. So if that's something that calls to you and you don't have time to attend a sale, please let me know and we'll do that for you. Okay.
Exactly. I don't have time to do sales. So it's like, You already know that I want one more, and you said two, so I was like, all right, awesome.
I already know what they are. See, it's easy. Make shopping easy.
Yeah, plus that third thing that I asked you about that you're looking for me.
Okay, I'll look when I get up. So, okay, thank you, everyone.
So much fun. So thank you so much, everyone. This was so much fun, and we're just like, we could talk forever, right? But thank you. And until next time, may you all continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.